Well, this is take 3 of our Wednesday night service. Hopefully, I can do a little bit better. Hello, River of Life. We're coming to you on the 1st of April, 2020. And boy, are we in some strange times, right? It's super quiet. Hardly anybody anywhere can be seen. Everybody's social distancing from each other. Fortunately, husbands and wives can be snugly and close to each other. And we're just going to talk to you a little bit about some of the observations that we've seen the last couple of days and some of the things the president shared with us as a people. And we're going to be talking today a little bit about some of the outdoor things the Lord has shown me. So, Lisa, what's your observations been?
Well, I went to Meijer yesterday, and it was very different. Now, I am an avid Meijer shopper normally, but when I went, the store had a lot of cars in the parking lot, but there were not a lot of people visible. People had masks on, and nobody spoke through the store, except for the workers were talking back and forth. But people had masks on. It was very quiet. It was very unique, at least up here. Our county is not doing very well. We've got a lot of cases up here, and so I think people have a lot of fear in them. So I went through the store, social distancing, but even as I was through the store, they kept saying over the intercom, keep 6 feet away from each other and keep your distance, social distancing. So, I mean, it was over and over and over. So that's what I saw, and it was a very sombering time going to Meijer. Not like my normal time where I go and I love it and I have fun and spend money. I spent money, but it was a different time.
Yeah.
It was different. Then you have to bring your groceries in the garage, and I cleaned all the groceries, and it took me hours to get everything put away. I didn't let anybody help me. Then I showered and washed all my clothes. It was just a very unique time.
Yeah, so while Lisa was in Myers, I was in the truck, and because she said
He's
older,
not allowed. He's
you're an
old.
older dude, and you're not going in the shop, and you've got lung damage and all that kind of stuff. So there I was sitting in the truck, but pretty soon I noticed as I was observing around, which a good Army guy does, I noticed a whole bunch of older men sitting in their vehicles. It was very interesting. I even saw this one vehicle that had an Irish wolfhound with its head sticking out the sunroof looking around at everybody. And then you would watch the Myers guys come by wearing masks on their faces and getting all the grocery carts. So it was different times. Hey guys, I wonder if you remember this picture right here. So this picture is, here we are out front of the McLeod's house. It comes from our River of Life calendar. And there we were. It's April 1st, so this is the picture you should be seeing on your calendar. Well, there we were the second Saturday of April last year planting petunias. And you remember just beautiful how that road was. Later on in the summer, if you went by the McLeod's house, you could see that. It was really the whole block we did, right? And we joined lots and lots, hundreds of people from Vassar, Michigan that were out there. And Vassar's that community next door to ours. They're in Tuscola, for those that are watching long distance. And we were just blessing the community and planting flowers, and the guys were out there making it happen. Well, if we were to go there right now and look in front of the McLeod's house, and I was just there maybe 2 weeks ago or last week. One of the things I noticed when I pulled up there is along that curb where all those beautiful petunias were, well, once the frost came, them poor guys, they were gone, right? So they're all curled up and dead, and it looks awful, like it's ready to be replanted now in April, right? Well, it's the same for us. And today I'm going to talk to you about a picture that's in our calendar from a couple of days or months before that, the beautiful rose, which was our rose of February, right? And so I'm going to ask you to join me today. Miss Lisa's going to record as we go along. And I just see a time of pruning going on. So I just want you to sit down and think a little bit about pruning and what that could mean in your life right now. I think it's the message the Holy Spirit would have me deliver today about the pruning going on in the land, right? And the pruning going on in our own homes and households right now. So why don't you join me today? I'm going to grab some of my pruning things. So I got a little bit of notes here. I've got my pruning gloves. Got these, Lisa got these for me last year, man. These are beast pruners. So why don't you join me and we'll head on out there. So when we're talking about pruning out in the yard, we're blessed to have some rose plants out here. Took us a little bit of time to learn about how to take care of rose plants, but once we did, we started producing some beautiful roses. Come on over here and look at this. So the first ones to show you here is this beautiful set of roses here. It doesn't look very beautiful right now, right? So when we take a look at this, these things have been all pruned down. I just did it the other day. Notice all the things that were dead that were here, we've taken away and taken out to the fire pit out back and burned them up, right? And so this does not look very beautiful. But if Lisa will get in here nice and close, you can see already we've got some buds starting. And believe it or not, River of Life, within just a couple of, well, weeks, this will be a huge, gigantic place of roses. We fertilize this and take good care of this. This just be beautiful. And we even have a little watering system here to help with that too. Well, I want to bring you on over here. Miss Lisa will join me over here for a second. And we're going to look at a piece right over here. And these are what are called sprigs. So we get right over here, going to open up my pruners right here and get down here. And this reminds me, well, I have Lisa come right in here nice and tight. I'll come out of the picture for a moment. I just want you to see this, these little things right here, okay? River of Life, folks, these things grew all over our yard in this beautiful flower bed. It'll be packed with flowers, this whole thing. But this flower thing, when we were taking a look at it, was filled, just absolutely filled with flowers. But this sprigs of this wild rose were all over in this garden, and there was nothing to be able to see. It was crazy to be able to see. So Isaiah 18:5 reminds me of something. So Isaiah 18:5 says, he will cut off the sprigs. So watch what Pastor Curt's going to do here. Just going to come right in here and chop these babies off, because these sprigs have never produced anything. They put thorns all over my garden, and they actually are unproductive. So I'll cut these things right down. And sprigs are just wild branches that look like they're full of potential. But in the end, nothing good comes out of them. So we'll cut those right down. I don't know what kind of rose plant this was. I'm guessing it's just a wild rose. It looks like it might be a rose plant, but you know what? It's unproductive. And I think that Isaiah was talking about there that after the grapevines came up and the grape flowers were there and they started producing grapes, all these little sprigs that were producing nothing, the vine dresser man would come through and chop them off and take them out. Well, it's a great time to get rid of stuff that you don't really need in your life, right? And so that's what's happening here. Some pruning going on at the Lapham household. Things that are not productive, let's just get rid of them, right? Okay, so I was thinking also during this time that we have a unique time that we can invest and make things better than they've ever been before. And so that's what I'm looking for my rose plants, right? So I want you to come on over here and join me with this rose plant. This rose plant last year was awesome. It was big and productive. This was just absolutely covered with roses. In fact, you can see the fruit right there, right? So that reminds me of a passage of scripture in John, and I wrote it down right here for you. John 15:2, where every branch that doesn't produce fruit, he takes away. Those are those sprigs I just showed you a few minutes ago, right? Things that are just unproductive and not worth anything. But he goes on and says that every branch that produces much fruit, he prunes it. Now I'm going to give you an emphasis here on every. Every good branch that produces fruit is going to be pruned. Look at the amount of fruit on this rose bush right here. there's hundreds of rose hips on this thing. It was unbelievably productive. But right now, this is not, if I left it here, I'd have 5% of the flowers I had last year. So what the rose band loves, which is beautiful flowers, he knows that he's going to have to come down here and prune way back and make this thing almost look ugly to get that beautiful production, right? So come on down here really close. Look at these rose buds I have down in here. They're starting to come on out. So I'm going to come way down here and prune that off right there. And I know that I'm going to take this branch and take it out back and cast it off and burn it. But I also know my rose bush is going to produce beautiful roses. Even the fruit that I had on there last year, I'm coming down here to this new bud growth and trimming that thing off. It doesn't look like very much right now, but right away my rose bush is going to start producing. Same in our lives. Even though River of Life, we were really productive last year, the Lord's going to be doing some trimming right now, some pruning, because He loves us. And He wants us to see way more production than we've had in the past. And the only way He can do that is to do some pruning right now. So even small things are going to get pruned. Big things are going to get pruned. It all matters that. And I've noticed some pruning going on my own personal life, right? So one of the things I noticed in Miss Lisa and how we're eating and what we're doing and exercising, I noticed today, Lisa's going to show you down here, I don't have any more belt loops in my belt. Like, I don't know what happens when you have no more holes to go, because just the things that we've pruned out of our life, unhealthy eating lifestyles and stuff, and no going out or anything, right? I've noticed that, I've lost a whole, like, I don't know, 10 pounds or so. I don't know. Lisa, have you noticed the same thing going on in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Miss Lisa and I
Oh, thanks.
have been noticing that there's a lot of pruning going on in different people's lives, right? Same for ours. And everybody that the Lord loves, He's going to do some pruning. So I don't believe any of us, none of you that are hearing my voice, are the wild sprigs that are just going to get trimmed off and tossed in the fire. But there are folks out there like that. And we have an opportunity to give them hope right now so they're not like that and they can turn into being productive. But even those that are productive, the Lord trims, right? There's some pruning going on in the land. Well, enjoy the time that you get together, because I really, that's my favorite part about all of this. I love the fact I'm getting 8 hours of sleep, which I enjoy doing, getting 8 hours. Normally it's like 6 hours and all. Lots of time to do some good exercising at home. But more importantly, the Lord is doing some pruning in my life and helping me. I know down the road I'll be a better Pastor Curt. I'll be a better husband, a better father. And I just think that those things will be coming down the road. So hang in there. See the pruning that's going on things that aren't important, and help Him to help you to be a better you in the future, right? So this is Pastor Curt and
Lisa.
saying we love you, River of Life family, and all those that are listening to us today. Be encouraged, and God bless.